Breaking tonight, the Toronto Blue Jays are going to the World Series.
And a swing and a fly ball to left field. Back goes Rosarena. She's gone!
The historic moment sending Canada's team to the championship for the first time in 3 decades. From Jays tickets to Snapchat to the Starbucks app, the major Amazon server outage hitting billions of users.
The scale is very, very unique.
Why experts call this a wake-up call. And the race to find the priceless jewels stolen from the Louvre before it's too late.
Once they're been cut into smaller jewels, the deed is done. It's over.
We break down how the thieves pulled off an unthinkable heist.
From CBC News, this is The National with Chief Correspondent Adrienne Arsenault.
Thanks for joining us. Wow, what a night. Let's begin with that breaking news. The Toronto Blue Jays are heading to the World Series for the first time in 32 years.
Here comes the 3-2. He got him!
The Jays pulled off a victory over the Seattle Mariners to clinch the American League Championship Series in a nail-biter Game 7. It is a stunning comeback for Toronto after a nerve-wracking start to the series, but they have finished the job.
Let's go!
And it wouldn't be a celebration without champagne. The Jays totally soaking each other. A whole bunch of baseball dreams coming true tonight. Thomas Daig is outside the Rogers Centre. Thomas, you are where the party is still going on. How are you holding up? What's it like?
44,000 fans spilling out of the Rogers Centre into the streets of downtown Toronto. Adrienne, we've seen this crowd blocking the street, at some point scaling the street light poles, not something we would advise, but we've heard "Oh Canada," we've heard "Go Jays Go" chants, and some chants related to the LA Dodgers as well. We'll get to that in a moment, but all of this is celebration that is bound to last all night here in downtown Toronto, spurred by this big 4-3 win just a few steps from where we're standing inside the Rogers Centre. The key moment of the game, of course, that clutch 3-run home run by George Springer. The Jays put 2 runners in scoring position, then Springer, without a doubt, the regular season MVP for the Blue Jays, hitting it out of the park, taking the lead, and the Jays never looked back. After the game, we learned that Vladimir Guerrero Jr., might call him Mr. October, he has been named the American League Championship Series most valuable player, and no wonder he has hit 6 homers in the postseason. He's been so clutch. Here he is speaking after the game.
This means a lot, you know. We're working so hard for this, and thank the fans for bringing the energy. We need you guys. We need the energy every day. Thank you for bringing the energy.
Okay, so it seems like there is energy to spare. They're going to enjoy tonight. They're probably going to enjoy tomorrow. But then the Jays have to turn their attention to the LA Dodgers. That's not easy.
It is not easy. This is a baseball team that has lost exactly 1 game in the postseason so far. They are the defending World Series champions. And given that the Jays actually won more regular season games than the Dodgers, the Jays are going to be hosting games 1 and 2 right here at home at Rogers Centre this coming Friday and Saturday. The series will then move to Los Angeles. It's going to be another best of 7. It's going to be very difficult for the Jays, perhaps a bigger challenge that they've already faced against the Yankees and Seattle Mariners, but that's a bridge to cross on another day. For now, it is a celebration in the streets of downtown Toronto, knowing that the Jays are headed to the World Series for the first time since 1993, Adrienne.
Fantastic. All right, thank you. That is Thomas Daig reporting from outside the Rogers Centre. Well, Jays fans have been waiting decades for this moment. They're celebrating, obviously, across the whole country tonight. From east to west, fans erupting into cheers at bars and watch parties. That extra oomph for Canada's team as the World Series crosses the border and comes back to Canada after a very long time. But the biggest party tonight is right outside the Rogers Centre as fans revel in this moment. Eli Glasner is right there with them.
It is ebullient and electric here just outside the Rogers Centre as the fans are celebrating. They fought their way through Game 7, and now it's on to LA, but maybe a little time to celebrate. Let's bring on some of the fans. Woo! How are you feeling right now?
Amazing! I have one thing to say. World Series, here we come! Woo!
Did you think you would get this far? Did you think they would get this far?
I can't doubt my Jays, so I have to say, yes, I knew we would get here.
But the third inning, you were probably doubting maybe a little?
Absolutely not. Jays all the way.
All right.
Want it all. Woo!
And the Dodgers, do they stand a chance?
Absolutely not. 4-game sweep, no chance.
4-game sweep. All right. Enjoy the night. Thank you so much. So this is just a little taste. How are you feeling right now?
Honestly, it's like undescribable. Like I don't even know how to put it into words. I'm just getting home to celebrate with my parents.
Did you ever think as a Jays, you're going to celebrate with your parents?
Yeah, I am.
Texting them?
I've been texting everyone all game. I'm here by myself tonight, so everyone's just.
So you came down by yourself, hoping for a win, and now here we are.
Everyone I know has been letting me know, like we're rooting for the Jays. We're here for you guys. It's the support across everyone I know is just undeniable. It's so good. I love it.
What was it like when Springer had that hit?
Genuinely undescribable. I can't put it into words. Like, I was watching it fly out. I saw it land just right in the bullpen, and I honestly couldn't breathe. I was crying. Looking around, just throwing high fives. Let's go Blue Jays.
We're going to keep celebrating. That is just a taste of what Jays fans are going through here in Toronto. Eli Glasser, CBC News, Toronto.
Good sport, Eli. All right, Jays fans, incidentally, were among those impacted by a massive computing outage that shut down services around the world and hit major companies like Ticketmaster. As Alison Northcott shows us, the incident has revealed the potential downfalls of being so reliant on so few tech players.
Thousands of businesses and apps rely on Amazon's cloud services for data storage and other digital services. So when there's a problem, there's a major ripple effect.
Facebook, Zoom, Snapchat, Ring, doorbells, Sony's PlayStation Network, even the McDonald's app so you couldn't order a Big Mac.
It began early Monday morning.
So no matter where you were in the world, if the company whose website or app that you were trying to access relied on Amazon Web Services, it either wasn't available completely or it was experiencing outages.
Within hours,
we saw an avalanche of outage reports start to flood into Down Detector, and this was not unique to one particular service. This was across thousands of different services.
Down Detector, which tracks outages, says it received nearly 10 million reports. More than 350,000 were from users in Canada. It normally gets around 1 million over an entire day.
The scale is very, very unique, and I suppose it points to the foundational role of AWS in the entire internet infrastructure.
AWS has unmatched experience in
Amazon Web Services is one of 3 major players offering cloud services, along with Microsoft and Google.
If we're putting all of our eggs into so few baskets, well, when one of those baskets has a problem, it's going to affect a lot of people.
While the outage affected bigger sites like Wealthsimple and a UK government department, it also affected smaller ones.
I just couldn't access anything, and I noticed I was getting a lot of error messages.
And this small business owner couldn't access payroll accounts for 3 hours.
As a small family-run business, you've got so many balls in the air all the time. And so when something like this happens, it's difficult to juggle and balls get dropped.
Amazon Web Services said early in the day it had identified the problem and was working to fully restore service as quickly as possible. Alison Northcott, CBC News, Montreal.
The Molson Coors beverage company is cutting about 400 jobs across Canada, the U.S., and some Latin American countries by the end of the year. The beer maker says this is part of a restructuring plan, but no offices or breweries will be shut down. Molson Coors didn't say what jobs would be cut or where. This move comes as alcohol companies struggle with weaker consumer spending amid tariffs and inflation. And there are calls tonight for Pierre Poilievre to apologize after he questioned the RCMP's independence and accused it of covering up for the Liberals. And as Kat Tunney explains, it's not just political opponents raising alarm.
Leader of opposition.
Liberals are trying to distract from their inflation and rising cost of living.
The opposition leader under pressure, being asked to backtrack and say sorry to the Mounties.
Last week, the leader of the opposition put into question the independence of our judiciary, of the independence of our prosecutors, of the police, in fact, the very police that put their lives on the line to protect him.
Shame. A beautiful spot you've got here.
Thank you.
Right here next.
In an interview last week with the YouTube channel Northern Perspective, Poilievre accused the RCMP of covering up for former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau during two scandals: when he accepted a vacation on the Aga Khan's private island, and when he was accused of trying to influence his Attorney General in the SNC-Lavalin affair.
If the RCMP had been doing its job and not covering up for him, then he would have been criminally charged. The leadership of the RCMP is frankly just despicable when it comes to enforcing laws against the Liberal government.
In both cases, Trudeau was found to have violated the Conflict of Interest Act, but the RCMP did not lay criminal charges. Questioned late last week about the criticism, the RCMP commissioner defended his force.
There's no interference. I don't take any orders from any political individual.
Poilievre has faced growing backlash, including from some conservatives, while others are drawing comparisons to U.S. President Donald Trump.
This is the kind of thing going on right now in Trump's United States. Political enemies can become then persecuted through law enforcement.
The last thing Canada needs is the disturbing kind of rhetoric that we hear from south of the border.
Janice, what do you think about Poilievre's comments on the RCMP? Do you support his viewpoint?
Conservative MPs returning to the House Monday were in no rush to defend their leader's comments.
I support the Blue Jays 110%, and I hope they win tonight.
Is that an admission?
Poilievre did not apologize to the RCMP, but in an off-camera statement clarified his stance, saying the comments were aimed at the former commissioner and thanked Mounties for their service.
And Kat, CBC News has also obtained a memo sent to Conservative MPs by the party. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, the Conservative Party also advises MPs to speak positively about the RCMP and tell Canadians they support the Mounties, suggesting the party that's normally on the offense is in damage control.
All right, thank you. That's Kat Tunney in Ottawa. The Liberals are laying out their plan to protect Canadians from scams and financial fraud. It's the latest announcement in the lead up to the budget in a couple of weeks. And as Ashley Burke explains, opposition parties are putting forward their own demands too.
We're starting the week strong, you know.
To promote his upcoming budget, the finance minister vowing to crack down on fraudsters, giving an old Liberal promise new life.
This is going to be Canada's lead enforcement agency for combating financial crimes.
The new agency would focus on money laundering, organized crime, and online scams. A 2021 election promise revived.
What's taking so long?
Well, I'm taking that over now, so it's going to happen. You know, that's the reality.
Ahead of next month's budget, the Liberals have made a series of spending announcements.
We are investing in frontline law enforcement.
But they say the Prime Minister's first budget will focus on austerity too.
We're going to table the most transformational budget in our country's history. We're going to spend less. We're going to invest more.
Will they cap their inflationary deficits?
But to support the budget, the Conservatives have demands, including a deficit no bigger than $42 billion.
They can call it the government spending, government investment, the fluffy kitten fund. The result is the same. It comes out of the pockets of hard-working Canadians.
Deficit estimates vary. The latest from the C.D. Howe Institute suggesting it could be as high as $100 billion.
A large deficit number indicates that we can look forward to paying higher taxes, for every dollar of services we get from the federal government. And that's a recipe, among other things, for a cranky electorate.
The Bloc Québécois and NDP have put forward their requests too.
There's one thing that we control at the Bloc Québécois, and we control what we ask for.
We have been very clear we will not support an austerity budget. We believe now is a time for investing in Canadian communities, Canadian businesses, Canadian workers.
The Prime Minister's cabinet has been asked to find what's being called ambitious savings, and we could see the first sign of those cuts in the budget on November 4th. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
Workers have begun demolishing part of the historic East Wing of the White House. It is the first outward sign that Donald Trump's long-sought ballroom is now in the works. The president had pledged the project wouldn't interfere with the existing building. Dating back to 1902, the East Wing has traditionally been used by the First Lady and for ceremonial purposes. Since the 1940s, it has concealed an underground emergency bunker. Well, in France, a frantic search is underway for jewels taken from the Louvre in yesterday's stunning robbery. Chris Brown pieces together what we know about the heist and why some fear the priceless pieces may never be found.
To Louvre tourists, it seemed incredulous that it only took thieves 7 minutes to break in and make off with what amounts to France's crown jewels.
I was just shocked. It feels like a museum like this would have the security that would stop something like that.
I think the French people feel like they've been robbed, said Justice Minister Gérald Darmanin, as the audacity of the theft and what he called the deplorable image it gives of France sunk in. 4 thieves, apparently dressed as construction workers, first used a ladder to climb up the outside of the building and then powered glass cutters to get in through a window to the Apollo Gallery.
The fact that it was done in daylight is also astounding, but if you look like you belong, you belong. So I guess they used that rule.
The only clue that they left that should have raised a red flag was that the workers were working on the museum on a Sunday in Paris. Nobody works on Sunday in Paris at 9 a.m.
The thieves were reportedly unarmed, but threatened staff before smashing glass cases and making off with 8 items, including necklaces, earrings, and a brooch. Some of the jewelry belonged to French royalty, others to the wife of Emperor Napoleon.
And once they're been cut into smaller jewels, the deed is done. It's over. We'll never see these pieces again intact.
So, cracking the case fast is essential. Suddenly, museums everywhere are worried.
They are afraid that local thieves will think, well, you know, they took it off with the Louvre, let's try our local museum. So that's the biggest fear now in the museum world.
More than a century ago, a decorator hid in the Louvre overnight and walked out the next morning with the Mona Lisa under his apron. It was recovered 2 years later when he tried to sell it. Investigators will hope they get a similar break with this robbery. Chris Brown, CBC News, London.
3 men in Scotland charged in the death of an Ontario restaurant owner have consented to their extraditions and will come to Canada to face trial. They appeared in Edinburgh Sheriff Court today, one charged with manslaughter, the others with being accessories after the fact. It's all related to the 2023 death of Sharif Rahman in Owen Sound, Ontario. Police say he was punched in the head while confronting customers who were skipping out on their bill. And CBC News has obtained an internal report that points to flaws with how Canadian Air Force pilots are compensated.
Having a junior officer getting paid more than a senior officer, I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Why some are defending the model. Canada is betting big on nuclear power with a major twist.
Well, what you're looking at is the first small modular reactor being built in the G7.
More energy, more jobs, but at what cost? And an undeniable show of support.
I'm wanting you to give the Jays a little love today. Go, Jays, go!
We're back in 2. Look at that, just a taste of the spectacular fireworks that lit up the skies above India tonight, ushering in Diwali, the annual festival of lights. Children setting off firecrackers and sparklers, and then from the air, as the drone shots will show you, it is a huge celebration. Now to a CBC News exclusive about the Royal Canadian Air Force and how a plan to fix a problem did anything but. The goal was to keep trained pilots from being lured to commercial jobs with better money. Marie Brewster now with the internal documents that show it's not working.
This takes a lot of piloting skill and experience, something the Air Force is struggling to maintain.
There has been a shortage of pilots and a low number of technicians. So we have put many initiatives in place.
That includes a 2021 pay restructuring intended to keep fully qualified pilots from bailing to the private sector. They get a bonus for experience and skills that mimics commercial airlines. According to internal documents obtained by CBC News, that plan had unintended consequences. Experienced captains and other mid-level officers can now be paid more than higher ranks. And pilots have filed 85 grievances. The commander of the Air Force looks at the upside.
We have been able to reattract some pilots who had retired back to the RCAF. Some of that was due to an increase in pilot pay specifically.
The aim of the bonus was to retain flyers, yet frontline fighter squadrons are only 66% staffed, just as they begin the switch to the F-35.
National Defense has a plan in place, but their current plan predicts that they will not have enough qualified pilots when all the planes are expected to arrive in Canada.
Commercial pilots have the potential to make over $350,000 a year, more than the country's top military commander. A retired senior Air Force officer says the system is not sustainable.
Having a junior officer getting paid more than a senior officer on the exact same unit doing the exact same thing, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And that just, underscores or shines a bright light on, the lack of thought.
In a statement, the Air Force stands by the new pay system. The internal report, however, says the Air Force ignored the experience of other allies and basically did its own thing, without much research into alternatives. Murray Brewster, CBC News, Ottawa.
There's new evidence that early exposure to peanuts can help prevent future allergies.
You can do it, and you can do it safely. Have that confidence.
What parents should know, and does the same method work for other allergens? New research suggests fewer children developed an allergy to peanuts after they were exposed to the food early on in life. Christine Birak explains the research findings, as well as how and when parents can start introducing peanuts to their kids.
So how old were your kids when you introduced peanuts?
As soon as he was able to sit upright and he was allowed to have purees, so around 6 months.
I think earlier is definitely better.
That may surprise parents with older children, but advice changed dramatically around 10 years ago. Now studies suggest introducing peanuts as early as 4 months old can help.
So this study is really exciting.
A new American study looked at guidelines for early food introduction and patterns of food allergy. Researchers found introducing allergy-causing foods early, especially peanuts, can lower allergy rates in children. Kids born after 2015, when new guidelines were introduced, saw a 43% drop in peanut allergies. Doctors say milk allergies also declined, but egg stayed roughly the same. This doctor's daughter has severe allergies. She says if she could go back, she would have offered peanuts, eggs, and many other foods earlier.
The goal is to prevent these allergies, because avoiding a food when you have a severe food allergy, every single meal, every single day, has a real impact on your quality of life.
You can do it, and you can do it safely. Have that confidence.
Doctors say food allergies impact roughly 1 in 2 households, or about 3 million Canadians, but advice on what to do isn't always clear.
Baby steps, and that can be having a little bit of peanut butter thinned out and mixed with breast milk or expressed milk, with formula, with water diluted out, just a teeny bit on a baby spoon.
While the guidelines seem to be working, some children will still develop severe allergies. Canadian researchers are now looking at ways to better predict which kids are at highest risk so they can get the right support early on. Christine Birak, CBC News, Toronto.
Now it's time to dig deeper into the stories shaping our world. Canada bets on nuclear energy again with what's called a small modular reactor, or SMR.
There's a lot of conceptual discussion on SMRs, but this one's actually being built.
The benefits and the costs to meet Canada's rising energy demands. But first,
the deed is done. It's over.
The daring Louvre heist has France stunned and investigators scrambling.
We could say this is the heist of the decade.
Centuries-old crown jewels gone in 7 minutes. Andrew Chang, host of About That, breaks down how they did it, what they took, and what they left behind.
What does it take to steal priceless crown jewels from the most visited museum in the world? a few thieves, a ladder, some power tools, getaway bikes, and about 7 minutes.
The French Minister of Culture confirms the Louvre has been robbed.
A hunt is underway for thieves after priceless jewels were stolen from one of the world's most famous museums.
And the craziest part of all, the museum was full of people at the time. Broad daylight, a brazen smash and grab, right after the museum opened for business. How'd the jewel thieves manage that? So the Louvre opens at 9 a.m. If you've never been there, it's this big, sprawling complex, the largest museum in the world, with a total footprint of something like 10 soccer fields. The main entrance is right here, at the base of this glass pyramid. There are a few entrances, actually, here, here, and here, but it's over here, the southeastern corner, where 4 thieves would create their own entry point. Everything I'm about to explain is based on information given by French government ministers, media reports, and otherwise publicly available information, especially when we get into what exactly was stolen and why it's so valuable. But let's start at the moment the heist began, about a half hour after the museum opened to visitors. This truck with an extendable ladder and mechanized lift is how thieves reached the upper floor. These ladders are pretty common in Paris. Movers use them all the time to haul furniture up and down, for example. The thieves themselves, they're wearing balaclavas and armed with angle grinders. Relatively small, powerful tools that can cut through basically anything depending on what kind of cutting disc you use. So with the right attachments, you can cut through plastic, fiberglass, even wood. A metal cutting disc can cut through steel, iron, bolts, pipes, and with a diamond disc, you can cut through brick, stone, and concrete.
This was not their first heist. You know, as a normal person, you don't wake up in the morning thinking, I become a burglar, let's start with the Louvre.
These photos show a relatively clean cut through glass. You see this vertical strip left behind. This is right atop the balcony that the ladder was propped against. It was around this time a whole series of alarms would have been triggered. If not from the exterior breach, then certainly from the moment thieves began cutting into the reinforced glass cases housing the priceless crown jewels that were stolen. Le Parisien, which is a major French daily newspaper, they published this video online, claiming it to show one of the thieves breaking into a glass case. Note the bright yellow vest, which may have helped thieves look less like burglars and more like maintenance workers. Now, it's very difficult to independently verify video like this because it's so blurry and low res, but France's prosecutor confirms investigators did recover a yellow vest at the crime scene. And if I look at the list of items that were stolen, according to France's Culture Ministry, and then cross-reference those items with their locations, according to the Louvre website, and even pinpoint that exact room to an overhead layout of the gallery. Note how room 705, where the crown jewels are, is at the exact point of the building where the thieves appear to have broken in. Then I can go even one step further and find those specific items that were stolen in publicly available video of that exact room. Here's a diamond-encrusted bodice bow, stolen. In that same case, just on the other side, this tiara was also stolen. In another case, these pieces from a sapphire set, a necklace, earrings, and a tiara, all stolen. At this point, you might be wondering, where was security in all of this? Well, according to the French prosecutor, the guards who did arrive on the scene were threatened with the same angle grinders that the thieves used to break in. It's worth remembering, the guards' #1 priority is not necessarily to protect the crown jewels. It's to protect people. Think of all the visitors who were inside at the time. And all of this would have happened very quickly. According to the prosecutor, within 4 minutes, the thieves had broken in, and within 7, they were back out, fleeing on motorized bikes after attempting to set fire to the mechanized lift that granted them access to begin with. Now, you may have noticed the French Culture Ministry lists exactly 8 objects stolen by thieves from the Louvre, but really, there were 9, and I'll show you what I mean. The first 3, a sapphire tiara, necklace, and earrings. They're from a matching set worn by 2 queens, Marie-Émilie and Hortense, hundreds of years ago. The necklace made up of 8 sapphires, 631 diamonds. These emerald pieces are from a different set belonging to Napoleon's second wife, Marie-Louise, also dating back to the early 1800s. This necklace is made up of 32 individual emeralds and more than 1,000 diamonds. Here are another 2 pieces from a matching set belonging to Empress Eugénie in the mid-1800s. More than 200 pearls, nearly 2,000 diamonds in the tiara, and the accompanying bodice bow, nearly 2,500 diamonds. And then there's this brooch designed to itself hold a religious relic. At the top, 7 diamonds surrounding a solitaire, and 87 more adorned and suspended below. That's 8 pieces, but the 9th was stolen and left behind. It's another piece belonging to Empress Eugénie, a crown featuring 8 golden eagles covered in 56 emeralds and thousands of diamonds. It was either lost or abandoned as the thieves made their escape, later found on museum property, but appearing to have been damaged in the process. The combined value of all these crown jewels, because of their historical value, impossible to measure, according to the French government. And experts say maybe impossible to recover.
There's a very small percentage in recovering stolen artworks. But when it comes to jewelry, that percentage is even less.
This is true for 2 reasons. For starters, no matter what priceless thing is stolen, they're pretty difficult to sell, right? Like, you can't exactly post them on Facebook Marketplace. And even if you did find an illicit buyer, how does that buyer show their brand new acquisition to anyone without putting themselves at great risk of being caught? But jewelry in particular, unlike, say, a painting, it can be remade into a brand new valuable thing. Gold can be melted down, precious stones cut and recut.
Once they're been cut into smaller jewels, the deed is done. It's over. We'll never see these pieces again intact.
So in an important way, there is very much a time limit to find and recover these crown jewels. And this also raises a much more difficult question about how you prevent these sort of thefts, not just at the Louvre, but at every museum with anything of value.
You can imagine that other museums in the world, and there are tens of thousands of them, smaller than the Louvre, they are watching this news and they think, well, if the Louvre can be robbed, how can we protect ourselves, you know? And they are afraid that local thieves will think, well, you know, they took it off with the Louvre, let's try our local museum. So that's the biggest fear now in the museum world.
It's appalling. It's a slap in the face of museums everywhere, and it's a wake-up call. If you have jewels or you have gold in your collections, you need to be worried.
Some experts are already calling this the heist of the decade. 7 minutes in and out, the work of seasoned professionals. But how much of it the museum and the government should have been able to prevent? That question will take much, much longer to answer.
And the Louvre remained closed today as French police hunt for suspects. Officials said, not surprisingly, that the theft was carried out by an experienced team. Well, Canada goes nuclear for power and jobs with a brand new class of reactor.
This project will make Canada the first G7 country to have a small modular nuclear reactor.
We'll break down what they are and why Canada is turning to them next. Small modular reactors could be the future of Canada's nuclear energy, but can they be built on schedule and on budget?
That $21 billion price tag for the Darlington project will go up.
For some answers, let's turn to international climate correspondent Susan Ormiston. She went to the building site of Canada's first small modular reactor.
Ryan, what's the vision here?
Well, what you're looking at is the first small modular reactor being built in the G7. So quite an exciting time for Ontario power generation and the province and the country.
In short, they're called SMRs, a smaller version of a nuclear reactor, creating a lot of buzz in the energy market.
Ontario is the place to be when it comes to nuclear energy. It's going to really shape the future of the nuclear industry.
And help Canada be an energy superpower?
It's the Darlington New Nuclear Phase 1.
According to Prime Minister Mark Carney.
This project will make Canada the first G7 country to have a small modular nuclear reactor.
He singled out this build as one of 5 big infrastructure projects central to his promise.
Reliable, affordable, clean power to 300,000 homes, while sustaining 3,700 jobs every year over the next 65 years.
What's new about this? We've done nuclear in this province for decades.
The reactors we've built to date are large-scale reactors. This is a small modular reactor, so a little smaller in megawatt output. However, it can be done in a modular fashion in an effort to make sure we build it on schedule and on budget.
This is just the first reactor. This site is already being prepared for reactor 2, 3, and 4, which is expected to be complete by the mid-2030s. In total, 1,200 megawatts of electricity. At a cost for all 4 of nearly $21 billion.
It's simply...
But this longtime nuclear expert is cautious.
That $21 billion price tag for the Darlington project will go up.
Alison McFarlane, a former chair of the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission, now a director at the University of British Columbia.
The small modular reactors, they've never been built, and so there's a lot of uncertainty about them, and a lot of uncertainty about the cost, especially.
There's actually 10 major forgings in this unit. Right now, there's a lot of discussion over the small modular reactor, not just in Canada, in the US, and North America, but ultimately around the world. There's a lot of conceptual discussion on SMRs, but this one's actually being built.
GE Vernova Hitachi, a US-Japanese alliance, developed the design. A company in Cambridge, Ontario, is manufacturing the reactor pressure vessel, or RPV. The cylinders from Italy will be configured here at BWXT and ultimately welded into one unit.
These cylinders get joined together into a larger unit, which is going to be about approximately 100 feet long and 600 tons in weight. So this thing ultimately is going to create the steam that is going to drive a steam turbine. And that is going to drive a generator, which creates electricity.
Canada has 70 years of nuclear experience. Small modular is the newest iteration, bringing the prospect of more jobs and another market for Canadian uranium from Saskatchewan. But the small modular reactor is unique. The reactor here needs enriched uranium, which can't be done in Canada. So Canadian uranium will be sent to the US to get enriched and then transported back here. A potentially weak link in the supply chain, says Jack Gibbons.
It will require us to import enriched uranium from the United States to fuel these reactors, imports which Donald Trump could cut off at a moment's notice.
Ontario Power Generation says a French company can also supply enriched uranium, but Clean Air Alliance wants to curtail nuclear development.
We got much wind and solar, battery storage, energy efficiency are all much, much lower cost, and they're much quicker options. Carney wants to please Doug Ford, and Doug Ford loves nuclear power, and the fossil fuel industry likes it because it's so slow and high cost that it won't displace them.
Nuclear energy has long been a battleground. Protests at Darlington in the 1970s tried to shut down the plant. Big debt dogged that project. It nearly doubled in costs by the time Darlington went online in the early 1990s. Nuclear grew anyway.
Please stay indoors with your windows closed.
But the accidents at 3 Mile Island, Chernobyl, and the most recent, Fukushima, Japan, put a pall on the industry.
You can see this concrete truck here spinning.
Nearly 15 years later, nuclear is hot again.
It's quite a, dare I say, renaissance, but definitely a movement back towards nuclear lately in the industry.
So why? Well, rising demand for electricity, including for new AI data centers. Also, a push for cleaner power. Once built, there are few carbon emissions.
I would never advocate shutting down nuclear power right now. It is providing carbon-free electricity. Absolutely, we need that. The climate change is the real problem facing us. I am a pragmatic person, and so I don't want us spending lots of money on something that's going to take a very long time to become a reality.
What's the advantage of making it? So we asked Ontario's Minister of Energy and Mines, why more nuclear?
We are the developer building out the first small modular reactor in the G7 before the Americans and the Brits and the French. Here we are, Ontario, and I want Canadians to be proud. Like, we have to flex our muscle.
Who's going to come up with the $21 billion?
Ratepayers will be paying for this, and from the federal, provincial governments together, they're going to help invest in the project.
Does that mean that the feds and Canadian taxpayers will pay for Darlington?
They will pay for a component of it. I mean, the national government invests in large-scale energy projects in all provinces.
Standing here, we don't know how much it's going to cost exactly. What happens if the costs balloon? They have in previous nuclear projects in this province. There's no question about it.
Yeah, I mean, going back governments of the past, so that is possible and that is true. But look, for us, when it comes to our project discipline on large-scale refurbishments, we've done it on time and on budget.
Demand for power is only going up. On this path, and with powerful backers, nuclear appears to have found a market again.
The new plant at Darlington is one of the government's first 5 nation-building projects. So over the coming weeks, a national will take a closer look at others, including the proposed expansion of LNG Canada in British Columbia. Well, coming up, a young fan shows his love for the Jays.
My eyes is a baseball with the Blue Jays logo on top of it.
What's driving his unwavering support? Next in our moment. So this is 8-year-old Logan Dorna holding up his new custom prosthetic eye with his favorite team engraved right onto it. So Logan's new look is clearly inspired by his love for the Jays, and tonight his commitment to the team makes our moment.
My eyes is a baseball with the Blue Jays logo on top of it.
We've been having a conversation about a fun eye for a while. It just so happened to be around the playoffs. He said, I want an eye that looks like a baseball. He had a vision in mind. He put in all the stitching and the seams of a baseball, and complete with his favorite team logo. We were at the game, we were cheering them on.
I'm wanting you to give the Jays a little luck today. Go Jays, go!
My favorite baseball player is Scherzer because he has 2 different colored eyes.
He had a diagnosis of retinoblastoma. They removed his left eye to be able to save his life. He was only 5.5 months old. We just want him to be able to be confident about his difference and really trying to make something positive out of something so tragic and so negative.
And Logan, the thing we know about you is that you're not just a baseball fan, you love to play. And the excellent news is you get to wear your baseball eye to your next game, and we know you're looking forward to that. From all of us at the National, thanks for being with us. I'm Adrienne Arsenault. Take care.